नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। भीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By Lord Sri Krishna's costless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita. We finished 37 slokas in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the opulence of the Absolute. So here in this chapter, Krishna is giving us more knowledge about himself. So in the 7th chapter, we studied the knowledge of the Absolute. So now we are studying the opulence of the Absolute. So Krishna is the Absolute, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now in this Bhagavad Gita, in each and every sloka, what we are studying, we are understanding this knowledge which is directly coming from Krishna. So we are knowing about ourselves and we are knowing also about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna also. So that way, our relationship with Krishna is eternal. Krishna is there with us all the time. So Krishna is the only person who is now never ever away from us, always with us. We will never ever get separated from Krishna at all, at any point of time. That means there was no time. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in the 2nd chapter, in the sloka number 12, Krishna says that Yatvevaham Jatunasam. The Krishna is saying that, so never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, and nor in the future shall any of us cease to exist. That's what Krishna is saying there. So that way, Krishna is saying that all the time we are there. So Natvevaham Jatunasam Natvam Neme Janadipa Nachaiva na Bhavishyamaga Sarve Vayam Ataha Param. But one important thing also we need to understand. So here Krishna is saying that always we are there, always Krishna is there. But another important point, which the Krishna is not directly mentioned in this Bhagavad Gita as a sloka, but we can understand from Bhagavad Gita that never was there a time when I did not exist away from Krishna. I did not exist alone, away from Krishna. That means we should say that never was there a time we were separated, ourselves and Krishna. So Krishna is there all the time with us. So that's what we need to understand. So never was there a time I did not exist. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to exist. So the another important point, fact, what we understand from Bhagavad Gita is that never was there a time when I existed away from Krishna. That is the main thing we need to understand. So Krishna is there all the time with us. So, but we need to realize that we need to realize that fact. Krishna is our only constant companion. So we are not going to depart from Krishna at all. When we die in this material world, when we leave this body, we are going to leave everyone. We are going to leave everything in this material world. All our relationships, all our achievements, all our accomplishments, whatever we have got in this world, nothing is going to stay with us. In fact, everything will stay here. We are not going to stay with them. That is the main point. So in this material world, when we leave, when we get out of this body, we are not going to be here. We are going to leave everything. But we are not going to leave Krishna. Krishna is there right now in our heart as a super soul. And when we leave, Krishna is going to come with us. Krishna is going to come with us to the next body. If you go to Krishna's well, if you go to Goloka, so there Krishna will come with us and we will be with Krishna. And if we are not able to go to Golokam, if we come back to this material world, then again Krishna is going to be there with us in the next body. So that way, at no point of time, we are existing ourselves alone away from Krishna. So Krishna is there all the time with us. That means at no point of time we can think something which Krishna doesn't know. That is very important. Being seated in our heart as the super soul, Krishna knows even whatever we think. Whatever I think, Krishna knows. So that way, there is nothing we can keep ourselves. Because Krishna is there. Krishna always knows whatever we think, whatever we plan. So that way, we need to understand this very important fact. Because all the time we think that when we are alone, feeling alone, feeling lonely. So that concept of feeling lonely itself doesn't exist for a devotee. A devotee will never feel lonely at all. If a person is staying alone at some place or at home, if he is a devotee, he will never feel lonely because he knows that he is not alone. Krishna is there. Krishna is there in the heart. Krishna is there. Like we are in the same body, Krishna is there. We are here, I am here, and Krishna is there in my body. You are there, and Krishna is there in your body. And Krishna is there in everyone's body as a super soul, as Paramatma. So we need to realize this very, very important scientific fact. That means we need to live in this consciousness all the time. We should never ever forget this very important fact that Krishna is always with us. We never leave Krishna, Krishna never leaves us. But if once we realize this very important fact, and then study and understand this Bhagavad Gita, then that same Krishna who is there seated in our heart, the same super soul, Paramatma, the same Krishna is giving this knowledge. Krishna is giving this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is guiding us. Krishna is instructing us. Krishna is very clearly asking us to do what we should do, how we should lead a life, how we should get ourselves attached to Krishna, how we should forget about everything in this material matter, everything which is made up of matter. So such a very important science, that is Raja Vidya, Rajaguhyam, the king of knowledge, the king of secrets. So Krishna is teaching us for our benefit. So once we study, understand this Bhagavad Gita and control our mind with the knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita. In order to control our mind, we need the determination. And in order to get the determination, we need intelligence. And in order to get that intelligence, we need to surrender unto Krishna. That intelligence comes from Krishna. So we need to love Krishna. So once we realize that Krishna is there with us in our body, Krishna is there everywhere, and Krishna is the super soul, and Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and Krishna is everything in our life. So that way, if we understand this very important science, Krishna is everything. That's the main thing. So then we will be all the time able to engage ourselves in pleasing Krishna, because we know what Krishna wants from us. We know Krishna's expectations. Krishna is asking us to just follow what he says in Bhagavad Gita. That's it. So that means we just have to study and understand Bhagavad Gita, which we are doing every day. And we are making great progress. We are making constant progress and great progress. And it is just only 18 chapters, 700 verses. And by knowing all these slokas, by memorizing, understanding, following these slokas, so our life is going to be very, very like blissful life, very meaningful life. That's what I always say every day. Like we need to lead a purposeful life. So that is possible only with the Bhagavad Gita knowledge. And we know that it's very hard to control the mind. Krishna himself agrees with Arjuna. Arjuna also says, but Krishna is asking us, Krishna is saying that once we control our mind, then only we can realize that Krishna is there with us. So what does it mean that when we are not able to control our mind? So when we are not able to control our mind, that means that we are forgetting Krishna, who is with us. So that's what. So whenever we forget Krishna, so that means our mind is not in our control. So when we remember Krishna, then our mind is in our control. So that's why Krishna is asking us, you remember me all the time. So how can we make sure that we remember Krishna all the time? So we need to study this Bhagavad Gita and get this knowledge to everywhere and spread Krishna's message to everywhere and just engage ourselves in serving Krishna. So whatever we do it for Krishna. The first thing is that they study Bhagavad Gita for Krishna and spread Krishna's message for Krishna. And that way, if we keep ourselves very busy in serving Krishna, so that means every day, for example, every day we are studying Bhagavad Gita, almost 1.5 hours to 2 hours, every day we are studying. Of course, 6 days a week. But this is a very huge commitment. Krishna's mercy, we are nicely spending this time in our life. Because at this point of time, we are not thinking about anything else. At this point of time, we are not disturbed by anything in this material world. At this point of time, our mind is fully focused on Krishna. Because we are studying only Bhagavad Gita, nothing else. Only discussing about Bhagavad Gita, all these slokas which Krishna gave this knowledge, Krishna is Krishna's songs. So that way, our mind is now very, very satisfied, very, very peaceful, because we are able to please Krishna by studying this Bhagavad Gita, because Krishna is very pleased. Krishna is very happy when we listen to him. Actually, by studying this Bhagavad Gita, we are actually listening to Krishna. So that way, when you are listening to Krishna, this is a very, very nice way of pleasing Krishna. Many times, every time we say that we need to please Krishna, we need to get connected with Krishna, we should be attached to Krishna, all such things we are saying. But this is a perfect example. This is a very perfect example that we are pleasing Krishna. That means when we are studying Bhagavad Gita or listening about Bhagavad Gita, so this is the time we are pleasing Krishna. But this has to become 24/7. Of course, we cannot sit 24/7 and only simply study Bhagavad Gita. And such kind of possibility is there when our primary task is actually to spread Krishna's message. So not only ourselves studying, but also spread this message and make many devotees and have only our friends and relatives and everybody devotees only. If someone is not devotee, then don't waste time. That's it. So that way Krishna is saying that Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantaga Parasparam Kadayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti. So don't waste time in this sense. Of course, if we are in a family commitments, responsibilities, those things are all very important as a service to Krishna. That is our karma, as a duty to Krishna. But we should not be simply chit-chatting, simply talking about all other useless things and have friends and discuss about the world news or politics or games and this and that. Those things are all going to take us away from Krishna. So that way, if we have only devotees, when we meet the devotees, we will always talk only about Krishna only. We are not going to talk about anything else, because the devotees, when they meet together, they are going to be very happy, because they are going to only glorify Krishna. So that's why Krishna is saying that Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayantaga Parasparam Kadayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. There is so much to study, know about Krishna. There are so many. We can make thousands and thousands of movies about Krishna's pastimes. We can read Srimad Bhagavatam. We can understand Krishna's glory is so much. In this material world, in this material world, ordinary people actually, when they watch some movies, just by the hero fighting and all those things, they are actually they're feeling very happy, very emotional. But the real emotion, the real happiness, the real hero is Krishna, because Krishna did it, and Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is the superhero, and Krishna is the supreme hero. No one else in this world is super or supreme. Everyone is going to die. Everyone is going to lose everything. But Krishna is always the supreme personality of God. So that way, we need to constantly remember about Krishna. Constantly, as Krishna says that, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataga tyaktva degam punarjanma nayeti mameti so Arjuna. So we should know. We should know about Krishna's transcendental appearance and activities. So we should know. So that's all there. So much knowledge is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses in the Puranas, Bhagavata Puranam, Srimad Bhagavatam. We understand, we know so much about Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna in this 700 verses, Krishna is teaching us so much knowledge, so much philosophy, and so much science. We need to go through it again and again and understand everything very, very clearly. Very clearly, we should know each and every chapter, what sloka Krishna is teaching and what he is asking us to do, and what question Arjuna is asking. All these things, it should be very, very clear. So that way, if our life will become only in remembering Krishna and serving Krishna and doing everything for Krishna, so that way, especially like the retirement life, one should plan only to be fully engaged in Krishna's service. That's it. Normally in this material world, people wants early retirement, they wants to enjoy, and after retirement also many people, they will go and do some other job and earn some money, and they will get pension and then go and get some other jobs and do something. And sometimes people even work even after retirement also. They will work at the age of 75, 80, 70, all such things. As long as you are able to walk, as long as you are able to move our hands and legs, you keep working. So that is stupid nonsense. We should be preparing. We should be preparing to go to Krishna's world. We should use all our karmendriyas only in the service of Krishna. Especially when we are done with this material activities. So we should aim such kind of life where full time only serving Krishna, doing everything for Krishna. So that kind of preparation is possible only if we have this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Otherwise, we will be so much attached to this material world, material sense objects, and simply all the time thinking about our bank balance and thinking about all our achievements and this and that. And we will be identifying with our body even at the time of death. And it's very difficult for us to go to Krishna's world, Golok. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge actually helps us to really understand our needs. That is a very important thing. Unfortunately, our needs are unnecessarily increasing. So we need to define. We should be able to put limits for our needs. So all such things are possible only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Because with Bhagavad Gita, when we are attached to Krishna, Krishna is not going to leave us. Krishna is going to create so many opportunities. So that way, as we always say, there are thousands and thousands of devotees are already waiting to receive this knowledge. There are thousands of devotees are taking birth in this world. And they all need guidance. They all need this knowledge. They all will become inquisitive. As Krishna says that they will become jijnasurapi yogasya. So purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate avaso pisaga jijnasurapi yogasya sabda brahma ati vartade. So because of their past birth, so they will become naturally inclined to this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. And who is there? Who is going to teach them? Who is going to give this knowledge to them? That is ourselves. That is the opportunity Krishna has given to us. So that way, we should be able to plan our life very well with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, that we will not get ourselves more and more entangled in this material way. Because otherwise, this material Maya is very powerful, Maya is very strong. And if we get ourselves more and more entangled in this material world, so then it will be very difficult for us to get ourselves out of this entanglement. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, what we are getting now, what we are understanding about Krishna, is the only knowledge which is going to help us, which is going to save us, and we are going to get Krishna's nature. Idam jnanam upashitya mamasa dharmyam agata. Anyone who takes shelter unto this knowledge will attain my nature. That's what Krishna is saying that. Mama sadharmyam agata. So that way, time is Krishna. Kalam kalayatam aham. Aham eva kshayaha kalam. Aham kalosmi. So Krishna is saying that I am the time. So that way, getting this human life is very, very rare. And in this human life, with this human body and having the time is very important. And we need to use this time very, very effectively, very, very efficiently in serving Krishna. There is something called efficiency. So efficiency, we know that output over input. So here, this time is there for us. So if it is how much time we remember Krishna, how much time we engage in Krishna's activities, and how much time we are forgetting Krishna. So we can calculate the efficiency of everyone's life. We calculate efficiency of every machine, everything, even our body also, metabolism. There are so many things. All these things we are able to calculate efficiency. So if we are not at all having any knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, if we don't remember Krishna at all, then the efficiency of this life itself is totally zero. But if 100% efficient, if we get in whichever life we are able to get 100% efficient, then we are ready to go to Goloka. So we need to achieve that efficiency. But this efficiency, every life we can actually increase. If in this life we are able to make use of say 20 or 30% of our time in Krishna's service, the remaining 70% of time we are forgetting Krishna. So that means our efficiency of our life is only 30%. But next life definitely is going to increase. And if we achieved, for example, 90% efficiency, and so only still 10 more percentage is still pending. So that means we'll get at the time of death, then we'll get another chance, and then we can go from 90 onwards, and this efficiency is never going to decrease. So that way, this remembering Krishna, this time, how efficiently we are making use of this time, how much time we are actually spending, we are remembering Krishna, we are attached to Krishna, and how much time we are attached to material sense objects. So that means we are forgetting Krishna. So that's what is going to define the efficiency of our life. So that way, we need to maximize this opportunity, this life itself. We should aim to go to get that 100% efficiency. So Krishna's mercy, that is possible. So by Krishna's mercy, when we get this knowledge, when our life is only committed to like serving Krishna, pleasing Krishna, and do everything only for Krishna's satisfaction, so then our life will be very, very blissful. So for all these things, this understanding Bhagavad Gita is very important. We are already studying, we are making great progress, and we finished 37 slokas in the 10th chapter. So in the 10th chapter, in the sloka number 37, what we studied yesterday, Krishna said that Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjayaga Muninam Pyagam Vyasaga Kavina Musana Kavi. So Krishna is saying that I am of all the Vrishnis, I am Vasudeva, and Vrishninam Vasudevosmi, of all the Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya, and of all the Munis, I am Vyasa. So Vyasadeva, who wrote this Bhagavad Gita, this Srimad Bhagavatam, and also who compiled all the Puranas, who wrote Mahabharata. So he's Krishna himself. He's the literary incarnation of Krishna. So Muninam Apyaham Vyasaga Kavina Musana Kavi. So in the next sloka, what we are studying today, in the sloka number 38, Krishna is teaching us that Dando Damayatamasmi Nitirasmi Jigisatam Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam Jnananam Jnanavatamaham. Dando Damayatam Asmi. So Krishna is the punishment of all means of suppression, punishment. Damayatam, of all means of suppressions. I am the Dando. Dando is punishment. So Krishna is the punishment. Dando Damayatam Asmi. Nitir, Krishna is the morality. Nitir Asmi Jigisatam. So of all the wise, Krishna is of all those who seek victory, Krishna is the morality. So that's why in this word Niti also Sanjaya uses in the last sloka, in the 18th chapter, sloka number 78, that is the last sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Sanjaya says that Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruvo Nitir Matir Mama. That Nitir is the morality. So Krishna is saying that of all those who seek victory, I am morality. So that way, when Krishna has said that I am the gambling of cheats, so Dyutam Chalayatam Aham. So that is only Krishna. Nobody can cheat Krishna, but Krishna is also the morality. That's a very important thing. Of all those who seek victory, Krishna is the morality. And Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam. Of all the secret things, I am the Maunam. So silence. So Krishna is the silence. Of all the secret things, Krishna is the silence. Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam. Jnanam Jnanavatam Aham. Of all the wise, Jnanavatam, those who possess knowledge, that knowledge itself is me. So Krishna is saying that I am that knowledge. Jnanam Jnanavatam Aham. So that way, Krishna is everything. That's what we need to do. So if you are able to see Krishna everywhere, if you are able to see Krishna in everything, if you are able to see everything in Krishna, then we are not lost to Krishna and Krishna is not lost to us. Yomam pasyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pasyati tasyakam na pranasyami sachame na pranasyati. One who is able to see me in everything, one who sees me in everything, one who sees everything in me, for him I am not lost, for me he is not lost. That's what Krishna is saying. So that way Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we should never ever lose Krishna. So 100%, 24/7, we should only remember Krishna. We should be completely connected to Krishna. That way we should be able to achieve that 100% efficiency of our life in terms of the time, the effective use of the time available to us. So that way we will be able to go to Krishna. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished this sloka number 38 in the 10th chapter. Hare Krishna. I will stop now and we'll discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you very much. R.K. Goyal, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Absolutely fine, fantastic verse. I enjoyed it. I don't have any question. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Shanmuga Priya, you can talk with Guruji.
Radhe Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Radhe Krishna. Just now I lost my mother, sudden cardiac arrest. I mean, so depressed, deep depressed. I hear your. Can I speak to Tamil?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
அம்மா சடனா கார்டியாக் அரெஸ்ட்ல ஒரு 2 ஹவர்ஸ்ல இறந்துட்டாங்க. ரொம்ப டிப்ரெஷனா இருந்தேன். எந்த ரிலேட்டிவ்ஸால எனக்கு அந்த என்னோட பாரத்தை குறைக்க முடியல. உங்களோட இந்த ஸ்பீச் நீங்க கொடுத்தீங்க பாருங்க, கோலோகத்துக்கு கண்ணங்கிட்ட போகணும், மத்ததெல்லாம் இங்கதான் இருந்துடணும். எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் ரிலாக்ஸ்டா இருந்தது. இப்ப என்னோட லோன்லினஸ் என்கிட்ட இல்ல. என் கண்ணை என் கூட இருக்காது, என்னால பண்ண முடியுது. ரொம்ப நன்றி குருஜி, ரொம்ப நன்றி.
Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
This is the thing every one of us has to face. So only the problem is that we are facing individually. So that's why we feel that it's someone else's sorrow. But Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita that we need to consider everyone as our own self. That is, Krishna is saying that compared to others, Sukam va yadiva dukkam. That is Sayogi Paramo Matagam. So Atma Upamyena Sarvatra Samam Pasyati Yo Arjuna Sukam va Yadiva Dukkam Sayogi Paramo Matagam. So Atma Upamyena Sarvatra. We should consider everybody as our own self. So that way it is very difficult time because we are all going to face the same situation. It is not, no one can avoid this. But only as just now Samupriya Mataji said, only this Bhagavad Gita knowledge only can help us, because this is a very, very important science, because we are connected to Krishna, and that way we should be able to see everyone as the soul. So that way we understand that when we lose someone, or even when we die also, when we lose, So everyone is soul. Nobody is losing anything. They are just losing the current body. We are also going to lose this body. And this body is only temporary. This body always changes. This body is just a machine. The machine will fail at some point of time. No machine will be perfect. No machine will work forever. In fact, our body is designed. Our body is actually designed to die, designed to lose. That is the main thing. We need to understand right from birth. When it grows, it goes through the 6 changes. So it comes into existence, and then it grows, and it produces some byproducts, and it then stays, and then it dwindles and then vanishes. So these are all the changes to our body. So our body itself is designed. The cell, our cells, we have chromosomes, and they're all actually, cells are dividing, splitting. So at that time they are making the copies of the chromosomes. So the copies itself, it is designed in such a way that when we get old, so the way the number of cells can produce, it will be minimized, and all these things are perfectly designed by Krishna. So we understand from Bhagavad Gita, we are not this body, we are the soul, and that way, if you are attached to Krishna, if you are connected to Krishna, if you are able to see everybody as the soul, so then by Krishna's mercy, we will be always able to remember Krishna only. So that way, that's what, as I mentioned today, this human life is a very, very important life for us, very important time for us. It's given this it's a great opportunity for us. So if you may effectively make use of this opportunity and make progress towards Krishna, then definitely at least another human life is guaranteed for us. There is no doubt. That's what we need. If we don't go to Goloka, we want to again come back to the same type of birth and progress towards Krishna. That is the main thing. We are not even interested in going to heaven, because even if you go to heaven also, even if you go to Swarga, so we will come back again to this earth only. So that way, a devotee should always aim to only go to Krishna. So this knowledge only is going to help us everything. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Prasid Bhushan, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
I have no questions, Guruji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank
Hare
you so much,
Krishna.
Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Ashwin Kumar Chibbar, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
I was going through that the shloka 38,
Yes, Prabhu.
and it's written there at the last explanation sentence. The gods, the wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior nature. Now, what is the explanation of this God's superior and inferior nature?
Yes, Prabhu. Superior nature is the soul, and inferior nature is Krishna says that it is apara prakriti, which we studied in the 7th chapter. In the 7th chapter, sloka number 4, Krishna says that Bhumi Rapo Analo Vayu Kam Mano Buddhir Evacha Ahankaram Iti Yamme Binna Prakriti Rastata. So Binna Prakriti means separated nature. So there is Asara, these 8, they are inferior nature. So the superior nature is the soul. So Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Eyedam Daryate Jagat. So that's what is the Para Prakriti. So the difference between Apara and Para Prakriti is, one is the inferior, another is the superior. So that way we need to understand that this material world is made up of this, everything, our body is made up of this, our material body. So this is made up of these 5 great elements. So that is known as Mahabhutam, which is also known as Panchabhutam. So Krishna says that Mahabhutani Ahankara Buddhi Avyaktam Evacha Indriyani Dasa Ekam Cha Panchaichendriya Gocharagam. So that way our body is made up of this inferior nature, and we are not the body. We are not made up of chemicals. We are not made up of atoms. So we are the soul. So the soul is the superior nature. So that way Krishna Paramatma and we are the Jivatma. So Krishna is the super soul and we are the soul. So that is the superior nature. So you understand the difference between superior and inferior nature, Prabhu?
No, does God possess superior and inferior natures? Does God possess?
What, Prabhu? There is God to this? I didn't get your point. What is your question, Prabhu? There is?
The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit,
Mhm.
between God's superior and inferior nature. Does the God possess both?
That is correct, because Krishna is saying that may binna prakriti rastada. That is my inferior nature. That's what Krishna is saying. My separated nature. May binna prakriti. Then apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param. That is me param. That is me, my param. That is my superior. So that way it is Krishna's inferior nature. So there is the material nature, which is also external potency. So that's what we call it as the Maya. So external potency, and Krishna's superior nature is the soul.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yes,
this,
understood. Thank you.
yeah,
very
we
much.
need to understand. We need to understand that fact, what Krishna says, and then we need to realize that we are the superior nature. We should not be attached to the inferior nature. That is the main thing. So we should be attached to the superior nature, Krishna, the super soul. So then our life will be full of bliss, Prabhu. Otherwise, if we identify ourselves with the body, material body, then we are going to be suffering in this dukkhalayam.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Gangadhar Naini has asked a question. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Could you please tell about the Jnanendriyas?
Yeah, there are 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas. So the Jnanendriyas are the knowledge acquiring senses. That's what is called Jnanendriyas. And Karmendriyas are the working senses. So that's why Krishna is saying that Indriyani Dasa Ekam. Dasa Ekam means 11. So Krishna is including the mind also. So in that 5 Jnanendriyas, the sense of seeing, our eyes, and then the sense of hearing, our ears, and the sense of smelling, our nose, and the sense of tasting, our tongue, and the sense of touching, our skin. So these are all called Jnanendriyas, with which we are getting the knowledge. So if we look at the psychology, if you look at the way the nervous system is actually in medically speaking, they are all sense receptors. So we have sense receptors in our body. So in our skin, so that is known as cutaneous sense receptors, which senses the pain and the temperature and the touch and everything. There are different sense receptors are there on our skin. So they will send the signals to our brain. So when something is very hot, we touch it. So then immediately through our nerves, the neurons will get the signal. So that way we are getting the knowledge. We are getting the knowledge. Something is very hot. We know that what is very hot. If we touch, it's going to be hot. So similarly for eyes, when we are seeing, so we have got us. So on our eyes, so the retina, so that is known as rods and cones. They are there. So the light will go through our eyes, through our pupils, and then it hits the retina, and where the receptors are there, then all the receptors, what they do, they receive the information and then they convert into electrical signals. Most of the time it's electrical signals. Then they send it to our brain. So that way we know that what shape or what color it is. So we are getting the knowledge. We are gaining the knowledge. So similarly, our ears also has got. So there is known as mechanoreceptors in our ears. So it's a mechanically gated. So that way, similarly, chemoreceptors are there in our tongue and our nose. So for smelling, for tasting, and all those things. So with all those things, we are gaining the knowledge. We are gaining the knowledge about this way. If our receptors are not working, if our senses are not working, we are not able to gain the knowledge. For example, if a person is blind by birth, he will not know what color it is, what is meant by colors or what is meant by shape. There will be no idea. If he says something is round, something is circle, or something is square, it's very difficult for him to comprehend. So that way, these senses are actually helping us to gain the knowledge. So that is called Jnanendriyas. And once we have the knowledge, and we need to act, we need to apply that knowledge. So how we can, then we need to use our working senses. So that is known as Karmendriyas. So with Karmendriyas, so primarily the Karmendriyas are also, there are 5 Karmendriyas. So anything in our body, which that is known as voluntary movement. There is also involuntary and voluntary movements we can do. So involuntary, so that is by the autonomic nervous system. So our all the organs and everything, they are controlled by the what is known as ANS, autonomic nervous system. They are all they are all not in our control. But there are motor nervous system. So the sensory nervous system is the one which I told. That is, you are getting the knowledge, you are gaining the knowledge. Our 5 knowledge acquiring senses are working. That is also known as somatosensory system. Then the motor nervous systems actually then from our body, from our brain. So when we decide, when we want to move, when we want to do something, I want to talk. So I want to give this Bhagavad Gita lecture. So that way, that is my wish. And I'm able to give this lecture because I'm able to produce voice. So this is one of the working senses, karmendriyas. So how I'm able to produce voice? By moving my my jaw and everything, by moving my mouth and everything. So this is within our control. If I want to move and want to talk in a certain way, I'm able to talk. So similarly, I want to use my hands and legs and go. So these are all working senses. So our legs, hands, and then our jaw, basically all these places, including our voice, vocal cord, everything together. So then anus and genital. So that is also we are able to control. So these 5 are working senses. So that's what 5 karmendriyas. So 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, and of course, if we have mind is the Krishna is saying that indriyana manaschasmi, of all the senses I am mind. If we are able to effectively control our mind, with our mind, if we are able to control our working senses, that's why yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabate arjuna karmendriyegi karma yogam. So with the help of the mind, we should regulate our senses and then perform karma yoga with the help of the karmendriyas. So karmendriyegi karma yogam asaktaga savisishyate. So asakta means without any attachment. So without any attachment, if you are able to do karma yoga, so then that is good for us using the karmendriyas. So for all these things, we need this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Then only we will be able to apply this. So without attachment, when we are able to do this karma yoga, when we are able to act, so then we are not going to bound. We are not going to get the reactions. So if we have attachment, then we are going to get reactions. So that way, it's very important for us to control our senses. So once we are able to control our senses, then only we will be able to achieve, will be able to receive the mercy of the Supreme Personality of God. Ragadvesa vimuktaistu visayan indriyaischran atmavasagi videyatma prasadam adhigacchati. Visayan indriyaischran atmavasagi. Visayan sense objects, indriyas senses, and atmavasa means under the control of the self. So we need to control the senses. We need to keep the senses under the control of the self. So for that, we need to keep the mind under the control of the self. So atmavasagi. That also Krishna is saying that yato nischalati manas chanchalam astiram tatastato niyamyaitat atmanyeva vasam nayet. Atmanyeva vasam. So we need to keep this mind and senses, everything under the control of the self. So if we are able to do that, then we will be able to get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of God. Prasadam adhigacchati. Once we are able to receive Krishna's mercy, so then prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetasogyasu buddhigi paryavatistadi. So then all our problems, everything will be solved, and then we will be able to lead a happy and blissful life, and we will be able to go to Krishna's well, Goloka. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Hina has sent a message. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you so much for tonight's session. No questions from my side.
Thank you.
Gangadhar Naini has sent a message. Asked a question. Hare Krishna, Guruji. How to identify the self in our body? What are the activities of the self in our body?
The self is yes, Prabhu.
Soul. He's trying to ask about the soul.
Yes, exactly, Prabhu. You are right. Yes, the self is the soul. So we need to realize, we need to understand we are the self. So we are not the body. And Krishna is teaching that Dehinosmin yatha dekhe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir diraga tatrana mukhyati. So as the embodied soul continuously passes from the boyhood to youth to old age, similarly at the time of death, it gets into another body. A sober person is not disturbed by such a chain. So the very important thing we need to understand scientifically that this body is always changing. This body is only made up of chemicals, biomolecules. So that way, we need to understand that the body is always changing, but there is something inside the body which is not changing, which is not made up of chemicals. So that is the soul. So the soul which is inside the body, but which is not changing. So nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satakam. So the one which is temporary is always changing. The one which is permanent is never changing. So that way we need to understand. So if you study sloka number 11 to 30, 20 slokas in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I strongly recommend. So you will understand exactly all the knowledge what you know, what you want to know about the soul. Everything Krishna has given very, very clearly in those 20 slokas in the second chapter. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Ashish Arya, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna Guruji, actually I do have one query. Yesterday you said that Krishna is that Supreme Lord. On the other side, when we chant that Maha Mantra, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But on the other side, Ram, he is that incarnation of Lord Vishnu, who even comes under the Supreme Personality Krishna. So, and prior to this session, actually, I used to that meditate. I used to practice meditation, and doing that meditation, I used to focusing on that Ram. And now, since I do follow that session, now I'm a bit confused. Whom I need to focus during meditation, Krishna or Rama?
Krishna and Rama both are not different. They are same. So Krishna only came as Rama. That's why Lord Brahma is also saying very, very clearly in the Brahma Samhita that Rama Dimurtishu Kalani Yamena Tistan Nanavataram Akarot Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyu Govindamadi Purusham Tamagam Bhajami. So Krishna has come as many, many avatars. So we normally attribute those avatars to only Vishnu, but Vishnu is nothing but Krishna only. We need to understand that Vishnu is Krishna only. So that way, they are all not different. If we are able to, if we see them different persons, then only there is a problem coming. So they are all same. But for us, this Maha Mantra, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it is coming from our disciplic successor and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he gave this mantra to us. So we need to chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So that way, when you say Rama also, it refers to only Krishna only. So, so Krishna has got so many names. Like even in Bhagavad Gita itself, if you see, Arjuna addresses Krishna in so many names. Like Arjuna is asking Krishna as Kesava and Rishikesha, Madhusudana, Janardana, Achyuta. So all these different ways Arjuna is addressing Krishna. That's all refers to Krishna only. So similarly, you say Rama, so Rama is also Krishna. Krishna also is saying that Ramaga Sastra Bhritagam. I am the Rama of all the wielder of weapons. So that way, there is nothing wrong in saying. And also there is Rama is also is the energy is gives happiness, all those things. So that way for us, because this mantra is just coming in the disciplic succession, there is no issue problem. We can just chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra fully, you will not feel any difference. You will not feel any problem.
No, while practicing meditation, can we focus only on Rama? Because actually in my temple there is there is a photo of Ram Darbar. So whenever I do practice meditation, so actually I have to think or I have to focus on that photo.
Prabhu, there is something we need to understand. Different devotees, different places, different ways, all you can do. So there is nothing wrong in doing that. So like some devotees say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, some devotees, some parampara, they say Om Namo Narayanaya, all those things. But this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is very special. It is universal Maha Mantra. That's what it's known as. So it is for us to, yes, Prabhu.
Guruji, sorry to interrupt. I think his question is what to imagine. Should I visualize Krishna?
Oh, okay. Your question is that in fact, when you are chanting this mantra, you should not be even imagining any deity, anything from. Your mind should not be even thinking any form, any imagining. Your mind should be focusing on the sound vibration. So that is the way of this controlling our mind. So this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in the 6th chapter, when I gave this lectures on 6th chapter, 6th sloka and all, not 6th sloka, there are 6th sloka is for a person who has conquered the mind is the best one. But in one sloka, Krishna in the 6th chapter, he says that you go and sit straight and don't look at any other directions and just manasamyamya machito. So the procedure, the process of chanting is actually, when you are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, all just now I was explaining about various senses, the sense of hearing, sense of smelling, tasting, touching, and everything. So here the sense of hearing is a very, very important. There is sabda is very, very important. So that's why Krishna also is saying that Sotradin Indriyan Anye Samyamagnisu Jugvati, Sabdadin Visayan Anye Indriyagnisu Jugvati. So Sotra and the Sabda. So this Sotra, so that is the hearing. Sotra is our ears, hearing, and Sabda is the sound. So this is very, very important sense for us to control our mind. So when we are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we should completely focus our mind on that sound vibration only, nothing else, not like any photo, picture, or form or shape, nothing. So our mind should be simply Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our mind should simply focus on that sound vibration. That's it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Pragya, you can talk with Guruji.
Hi, Hare Krishna, Guruji. So
Hare Krishna.
I have this question. So just now you gave that answer that Krishna is Nirakar, or when we are chanting the Maha Mantra, right? We don't have to imagine anything or doing, but like since childhood or whenever we do any chanting or listen to the bhajan, so it's always there is an image of the Krishna, like we have a beautiful one behind in at your background. So it comes by default, like into the mind whenever you are taking the Krishna's name. There is a image of the Krishna. So how does that justify this, that we say that Krishna is Nirakar and then we have the image also? So that isn't that conflicting a little
No,
bit?
it is not conflicting. When you go to temple, when you are taking darshan of Krishna, you are seeing Krishna and you are able to see that beautiful form of Krishna. Krishna is Shama Sundara. Krishna is all beautiful. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitambuta Sundarangam Kandar Pakoti Kamaniya Visesa Sobam Govindamadi Purusham Tamakam Bhajami. So Krishna is all beautiful. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who is adept in playing on his flute with blooming eyes like lotus petals, and his head decked with peacock's feather, and his body tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming the millions of cupids. So there is no problem. But this chanting process is actually what we are trying to do, is that we are trying to control our mind, because our mind is always going here and there. It doesn't go in one place. So it doesn't sit in one place. So Krishna is saying that yato nischalati manaschanchalam astiram tatasato niyamyeta tatmaneva vasam nayat. So from wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. So this hearing process is a very, very effective, very important process. So if we do this, then when we start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, our mind won't go anywhere. So if you keep on doing this every day, and you will be able to fix your mind on the name, on the Krishna's name. So Krishna is Krishna's name. Krishna's name and Krishna is not different. So that's why Krishna is saying that Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi. Yajnanam, in the same 10th chapter we already studied it. Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi. Of all the Yajnas, I am the Japa Yajna. So that's what the chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So at that point of time, our mind, we need to focus on that sound vibration. That's very effective, very, very effective. And if you do it continuously, if you practice it, then your mind will be just on the name of Krishna. It will be connected only with Krishna. So, but like trying to remember a form of Krishna, it won't work, because because this is you are trying to control your mind and trying to fix your mind in one place, and that is on the transcendental sound vibration and the name of Krishna. So that's why this specific process is very, very important. Hare Krishna. Yeah, maybe you want to yeah, yes.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Guruji, thank you so much. That really explains me and clears my doubt. I have
Yes.
one more question that is, going ahead, like going in my mind. So,
Yes.
when we say that Krishna is supreme, and after all the reincarnation, and when we have done all our completed our karmic cycles, we are going to meet Krishna, right? So, how? I mean, my question may be stupid, but how does that, like, when we say that we are going to meet Krishna at the end of all the cycles, and we know that like thousands and thousands of years ago, like Krishna has already given up his like body or the material body, right? So when we say we are going to meet Krishna, so what actually it means, is it that the self realization that uh, is that the one that we have to realize ourselves, is that the ultimate end or the meeting of the supreme means?
In fact, we need to understand one thing, Mataji. Krishna had never gave up his body. Krishna, in fact, never took a birth in this way. Krishna directly came to this way. That is the main thing we need to understand. Because Krishna's birth is not like ours. So we need to understand very well. In Bhagavad Gita also, in the 4th chapter, 6th sloka, Krishna is saying that Ajopisan avyayatma bhutanam iswaropisan prakritim swam adhisthaya sambhavami atma maya. So Krishna is Atma Maya by his own internal potency, Prakritim Swam Adhisthaya. So he just comes with his own Prakriti. It's not like we are controlled by this Maya, but Krishna is not like that. So Krishna is not forced to accept a body like a material body. Krishna's body is not like a material body which deteriorates. Krishna was always young only. Krishna never got old also. So Krishna is Navayavvanam. So Navayavvanam means Krishna is always young. And Krishna is his each body part can do the like action of other bodies. Sakalendriya vritti manti. So Sakalendriya vritti manti. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti pasyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti govindamadi purusham tamakam bhajami. So that way Krishna can see through his legs, see through, eat through his hands, anything. Krishna is, we cannot limit Krishna on anything. So that way Krishna is never departed, means Krishna never left his body like that. So that's the point we need to understand. So that's why we need to understand there's a difference between ourselves and Krishna. So that's why Krishna's Janmashtami, Krishna's birth is very, very special. That's why Krishna also saying in Bhagavad Gita that anyone who understands the transcendental nature of my appearance, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. Janma Divyam. So Krishna's Janma is Divyam, that is divine. So Krishna's Karma is Divyam. So anyone who understands the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, after giving up this body, they will not come back to this material world because they will come to me. That's what Krishna is saying. So that way, Krishna is always same Krishna, and we go to Krishna, Goloka, we can see the Krishna in the same way. So Krishna's body is not material body. Hare Krishna. You understand that, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Guruji, and thank you so much. That explains me a lot. So thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. May I know where you are from? Which place, Mataji? Where are you from?
So I'm from California.
Oh, okay, very nice. Okay, Hare Krishna. You started attending recently, correct? So
Yeah,
okay.
since yesterday I started, and even I checked the link that is present on the WhatsApp. So, but the chapter 1 is not included in those links. So it starts from chapter 2. Chapter 1 is missing, and even chapter 5 is missing. So, so if we can have that uploaded as well, so I can, start going through the videos.
Yes, it's there already uploaded. Shiva Prabhu can give you some direction in that regard. So where in California? From which city in California?
Tracy, California. Yeah.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So,
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Shiva Prabhu, if you want to explain about that, it's fine.
Yes, Guruji, I'll ping her separately.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sure. Thank you.
Tapan Patanayak, you can talk with Guruji.
Guruji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I want to, Guruji, know the exact meaning of chapter 2, 14th verse. Sitosnu Sukha Dukkada. Chapter 2, sloka number 14.
Matra sparsas tu kaunteya.
Kaunteyo, Sitosnu
Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada. Agama Payunu Anityaga. Tam Sitiksasva Bharata. So Krishna is saying that this matra sparsastu means with our external sense with external sense objects. So matra sparsastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha. This happiness and distress are like the heat and cold, summer and winter. So that's why Prabhupada has translated very nicely that the non-permanent appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons are like the appearance, the non-permanent appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. So they always come and go. So one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So that way, if someone is saying that I'm very happy now, so that person really knows what sadness means, what distress means. That's why he is able to say that I'm very happy. Because that means earlier he was having distress. He was not happy. That also means that next he is going to be getting distressed. Because in this material world, with material sense objects, nobody can be happy all the time. Krishna says that it is dukkhalayam. So in this dukkhalayam, nobody can be happy all the time. So that way, they always come and go like winter and summer. So winter and summer, it's going to come and go. So similarly, in everyone's life, happiness and distress always going to come and go. So Krishna is saying that tam stitiksasva bharata. It is agama apayina. Agama means it appears. Apayina means it disappears. So tam stitiksasva bharata. So one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. How is that going to be possible? By ourselves attached to Krishna, by ourselves fully depending on Krishna. Then only it is possible. So that way in this material world, everything is temporary, everything is flickering. Only Krishna's, when we do everything for Krishna, that has got permanent effect. You understand that, from?
Okay. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Mihir Gandhi, you can talk with Guruji. Aparna Kalyani, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Nice synopsis, nice explanation, and nice discussion going on, Guruji. Thank you so much. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Dhyaneshwar, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Very nice explanation. Nice explanation today. Today's sloka, Krishna says that I am all these opulences. He says that I am the dando damayatam asmi, punishment. So can we think, Guruji, in this way that punishment is also required? Otherwise, discipline cannot be placed. So punishment is also giving punishment.
Yes.
Think that it is bad, it is also good. And niti, it morally.
Yes, Prabhu.
I think we lost
And knowledge only.
I think we are not able to hear you properly, Guruji. M. Vishnuvardhana Rao, you can talk with Guruji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Srinivas is getting the link, Guruji. He is unable to link it. Today I explained him. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Manoranjan Sahu, you can talk with Guruji. Murli Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Manoranjan, Prabhu.
He said no question, Guruji.
No questions. Okay, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Murli Krishna, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I understood today's sloga Prabhu. I have no questions. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
R.K. Goel has asked a question, Guruji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Today we have learnt that Maunam Guhyuttamam Aham. So, can we think that we are situated in Krishna when we are in silence?
Yes, Prabhu. So, yeah, when we are thinking about Krishna, we are definitely, to the extent possible, we should not be talking all useless things, Prabhu. That is the main thing. So normally in this world, sometimes people will be some people will be very talkative and all the time talking all the useless things. So here, this Bhagavad Gita itself is Guhyam. Krishna is saying that it is a Guhyattamam. It is the Paramam Guhyam. It is the Raja Guhyam. So that way, so Krishna is Maunam and of all the secrets, but this Bhagavad Gita is the topmost secret. So anything if you want to talk, we should only talk about this Bhagavad Gita only. So that is the main thing. All other things which are all any subjects which we are talking, which we are discussing, which is not related to Krishna, they are all going to waste our time. Like I was explaining today about the efficiency of our life, correct? We are simply going to lose that time.
Ranjit, you can talk with Guruji. Ratnakar Naik, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
No question today, Guruji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Jay Kumar, you can talk with Guruji.
Namaskar Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Namaskar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I understand very clearly about inner potential, external potential and inner potential. So very clearly I understand.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Oh.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srinivas Narela, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Guruji, wonderful session, Guruji. Thank you very much. And the only thing we just need to know how to submit everything to Krishna. So we have to work and we have to do our daily duty. But how to submit everything to Krishna, that we have to learn. Because when we are focusing on some work, we from our mind it is going away, and that's the only thing we have to learn, Guruji.
Krishna's mercy, Prabhu. Krishna will create the opportunities in such a way that we can remember Krishna, because all the energy, knowledge, strength, everything is given by Krishna only. So if we submit ourselves unto Krishna, so then Krishna will create opportunities. So by Krishna's mercy, all such things will easily happen. It will happen.
Yes, Guruji. Yeah.
So Krishna will create us opportunities to serve him, to do everything. So everything we just have to fully depend on Krishna. That's it, Prabhu. So that if we do it, automatically you will see the changes in our life. See everything will happening in a nice way. Everything Krishna will be solving all the problems. We'll see Krishna's mercy everywhere, Prabhu.
Yes, Guruji.
Krishna is not just sitting idle and watching us suffering. That's the main thing we need to understand.
Yeah, yes, Guruji. He's taking care of us. There is no doubt about it.
More and more we want to serve Krishna, then we will be able to receive more and more of his mercy. That is the main thing. He is already supplying unlimited mercy, but we will be able to receive it once we are able to open up our mind to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Surajit Prabhu, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, sir.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
This you said Monam cha iva asmi guhanam. So you told being silent is good, right?
Yes.
So can you explain a little more on this one?
So in the 13th chapter, when Krishna talks about the knowledge, when Arjuna asks Krishna, about Kshetram Kshetrajnam Evacha, Jnanam Nyayam Cha Kesava. So Prakritim Purusam Chaiva, Kshetram Kshetrajna, Jnanam Nyayam. At that time, Krishna is saying that when we talk about the like Jnanam, Krishna is saying that Maichananya Yogena Bhaktir Avyabhicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitvam Arattigi Jana Samsati. So that is, Krishna is saying is that freedom from, Krishna is saying that even-mindedness amid pleasant, so aspiring to live in a solitary place. So that's what I want to go to that sloka, that particular thing. That is Vivikta Desa Sevitvam. So that's why Vivikta means solitary. Vivikta Desa Sevitvam means aspiring to live in a solitary place. So detachment from the general mass of people. Aratir Jana Samsati. Aratir Jana Samsati. So in that 13th chapter, sloka number 8 to 12. So in the five slokas, Krishna is giving a list about the knowledge. So at the end, Krishna says that Etad Jnanam iti proktam yajnanam yatato anyada. All these things are knowledge, anything other are ignorant. That's what Krishna says. So in that, when Krishna is listing so many things about what is knowledge, in that Krishna is saying that aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, all these things are a part of the knowledge. So that way, we are so much connected with this world, so much going, interacting with this world, so much doing. We are not going to give up our attachments to this world. Anything we do only for Krishna. That's the main thing. Otherwise, we should detach ourselves from all the materialistic activities. So that way, Guhyam, there's Maunam. Maunam Chaivasmi Gukhyana. So that way, when there is no need to talk anything, so that's what Krishna said, I am the secret of all the secrets. So you understand that, Tom?
Yes, sir. So this is with respect to like dhyana and yoga and meditation, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Or there is a proverb like it says that there is no enemy of dumb, right? People doing everything, and sometimes people keeps quiet, and that way he is not into any kind of problem. So
yes, what is the most secret, Prabhu, other than Maunam? If you have something, if you don't open your mouth at all, nobody will know it. So that's why Krishna is saying that of all the secrets, I am the silence.
Oh, nice. Yes, sir. Yeah, very good.
All the secrets, there are so many secrets. In that, the best secret is just keeping quiet. If you don't open the mouth, if you don't tell anything, Maunam, silence, if you keep silence, that is the best secret. That's why Krishna is saying that of all the secrets, I am Maunam, I am silence. That's what.
Yes, sir, I understand. Thank you, sir. Pranam. Hare Krishna. Bye, sir.
Thank you, Guruji. Mihir Gandhi, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
1 minute. Hello?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
What is can you elaborate what is the difference between Krishna and Shiva?
Krishna and Shiva, there is no difference, Prabhu. Both are exactly same only because Krishna only came as Shiva. So that way, Krishna and Shiva are same. Like Idram Yatatadi Vikara Visesa Yoga Sanjayate Nigitata Pratagasti Heto Yasambutam Apitata Samupaiti Karyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamagam Bhajam. Just like milk is transformed into curd, so similarly Krishna is transformed into Lord Shiva. So the milk and curd, we cannot say that they are the same, at the same time they are not different also. So like that, Krishna and Shiva are like that. So like milk, and Krishna is the milk and Shiva is the curd. So that way, Krishna is transformed into Lord Shiva to perform like a specific duty. So Samupaiti Karyat. So that way, they are both same, Prabhu, not different.
Thank you, Guruji. TML Shankar, you can talk with Guruji. Tripti Chakraborty, you can talk with Guruji. All right. I will release the mute option in case if anybody wants to talk.
Not released, Prabhu.
Yeah. Annie Pepper, you can talk with Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Beautiful satsang. I was taking to heart what you were saying about the way we live our daily lives and not wasting our time or energies with unnecessary entanglements in the material world. And it seems to me that following from that, an important aspect of our spiritual practice should be regular self-examination of how we use our time and energy, you know, our thoughts, our speech, and our activities, and evaluate them by whether they bring us closer to Krishna or not. And if they do, cultivate them, and if they don't, to correct or discard them. Is that accurate?
That is very much accurate. That is true, Mataji. That's what we should be, as you said, that we need to self-examine ourselves. And that is when we actually desire to serve Krishna by spreading this message of Bhagavad Gita. So first thing is that we need to know this Bhagavad Gita very well. If we know this Bhagavad Gita completely, then it's very easy for us to convey this message to anyone. So if our desire is only to spread this message to please Krishna, because to please Krishna, this is the best way of pleasing. There is no other better way than this. So this spreading Krishna's message. So that way, if our main activity in our life is only focused on understanding this Bhagavad Gita and spreading Krishna's message and making many devotees, if we just focus only on that, so then we will be able to effectively use this our time very efficiently, because we will not have any other, we will not be having any time to waste, because we will become very busy in this activity. We will be very much busy. For example, right now we are studying Bhagavad Gita every day. In fact, for me, I'm also giving Bhagavad Gita lecture in the Tamil, which is in the morning time. So Krishna is keeping us really very busy. So that way, if we just plan that way, then leave everything to Krishna. So our goal is only to spread Krishna's message, and then Krishna's mercy, Krishna will give us all the opportunities. Krishna will take care of ourselves very well. There is no doubt about it. Yogakshemam Vahamyagam. Krishna is going to give all the needed resources, needed energy, anything what we need, Krishna will take it. Because of course everything is coming from Krishna. Everything is owned by Krishna. Krishna is the Sarvaloka Maheswaram. Krishna is the supreme controller of all the worlds. So that way, as you rightly said, that we should be able to self-examine ourselves and regulate ourselves. So with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, that is definitely going to be possible, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji.
Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Ranjit Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Guruji, I've joined quite late, so I couldn't listen to the whole. So I'll be listening in it in the YouTube.
Yes.
And thank you, Guruji. Pranam, Guruji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Pranam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Vishnu Vardhana Rao, you can talk with Guruji.
Namaste, Guruji. I have no questions, sir. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I think we spoke with everyone, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We will again all the devotees.
Hare Krishna.